We got through another good day yesterday, an extremely good day. We made some monumental decisions on the diversion. The only statement that I will make at the present time is, honestly, it's starting to bend a little bit. So as that moves forward, it's going to bend a little more in the next 24 and the following 24.
People in Fargo-Moorhead got some encouraging news today.
Yeah, the Red River is expected to crest in the FM area a half-foot lower than expected at 37.5 feet on Sunday morning. At last report, it was 35.8 feet. The Red in Grand Forks is at 45.42 feet, on the way to 47.5 feet on Monday. And the Wild Rice at Abercrombie is on the way down. At last report, it was at 24.39 feet and dropped.
Most of all, though, I appreciate the hard work and the leadership that City of Fargo leaders are showing in Cass County, and a tremendous organization. The volunteers are absolutely fantastic, and the young people, I mean, what can we say? It's been absolutely heartwarming to see all those young people out there volunteering, doing such a great job. And when you ask them what they think about it, they say, this is for our community, and they're absolutely amazing. From the state perspective, we want to make sure that we have the resources here that you need, not only for the City of Fargo, but also Cass County. I'm going over to the Cass County EOC here in a little bit. But whether it's the Guard, our Department of Transportation, Emergency Services, or any other state agency, Highway Patrol, law enforcement, whatever you need, we want to make sure that we have the resources here to back up what the City of Fargo, what Cass County, and what others are doing up and down the valley.
I'd just like to make a brief comment with regard to the vote that was taken yesterday by the Flood Work Study Group. That is a movement of historic proportions, but it is only historic if we reach completion someday down the road. It will not be deemed historic if we don't get the job done. And I want to pledge to the mayor, vice mayor, and the governor on behalf of the county that we will work extremely hard to get through any bumps in the road. We'll work extremely hard to do our part in terms of putting a financial plan together that is acceptable to all, so that years down the road we can indeed say it was his historic moment.
Last night in Timberline area we had a failure of a levee. We have too much pressure on our storm sewer in that area, and basically we have some leakage from that. We were unable to pull back that levee far enough back to correct the problem. So we are going to have to do a sandbagging effort in the Timberline
Fargo's
area.
Timberline neighborhood answered an alert from the city today after parts of a storm sewer line started to rupture.
Water bubbled up on what was supposed to be the dry side of one of Timberline's clay dikes.
And
we believe we have Valley News Team's Trish O'Connor live right tonight from Timberline.
Trish, how fast was the response out there?
Well, Darren and Lisa, the city sent out a code red call early this morning, rallying neighbors and volunteers to come here to Timberline. And within a couple of hours, thousands of sandbags and dozens of volunteers were on their way into Timberline. The city had to truck in fresh sandbags because overnight in the cool temperatures, the leftover sandbags for the neighborhood had frozen. Now, what people did is essentially erect a sandbag dike around this neighborhood because of that problem they had with the clay dike. The clay dike was originally built to block the neighborhood from the Drain 53 reservoir, but the Red River started to back up and pressurize that, causing some leaks.
Basically, we've polyed all our sandbag dikes, so the poly is around them, but as he says, it can leak a bit, so then you have to have your sump pumps going. And of course, with the cold weather, your sump pumps freeze up. So the challenge right now for the group, and the neighborhoods did it last year, they'll do it this year too, is you got to get out there and make sure your sump pumps work. You constantly have to be checking your dikes, because what can happen is it can work its way through the sandbags, and then you have seepage behind it. sandbag dikes leak. I mean, that's something they do. But last year we did it. I mean, people were out there with campfires, stoves, and they were watching the dikes. So that's what's going to happen, and the water is going to hit the dikes now.
Fargo Mayor Dennis Wallaker says from what he's seen, the new crest prediction looks accurate.
Wallaker toured the valley by plane today, checking out the snowpack, drainage, and ice conditions for himself, and says he agrees that the red will not go any higher than the new crest prediction of 37.5 feet. In fact, he says he's as optimistic now as he's been in 2 weeks, a long 2 weeks for him and others like it.
It's better out there. And we've seen it a lot worse.
Wallaker says there is a lot of water pushing against Fargo's dikes right now, so it won't be time to relax until the red falls below major flood stage.
Mayor Mark Frazier says his city is in good shape as the flood crest draws closer. He says only 1.1 miles of clay dike had to be built this year, in contrast to the 9 miles that were built last year. City infrastructure is now protected to 38 feet without any diking. But even so, Frazier called on everyone to still be vigilant. Frazier also saluted the more than 1,400 volunteers who showed up to help during the 4 days of sandbagging earlier this week. And Governor Tim Pawlenty was on the Minnesota side today, checking out some of the most affected areas. He met up with Moorhead Mayor Mark Frazier to tour a few neighborhoods in South Moorhead near Rivershore Drive and Oakport Township. The governor said it's easy to see where excellent preparation meets hard work to make the flood manageable.
Tonight, we won't be seeing any snowfall action. Here's the latest at the Red River at Fargo, steadily climbing closer and closer to that 37.5-foot mark, which of course has been lowered by half a foot, which is good news, all because of the cold weather and of course the lack of precipitation we've been seeing tonight.
Those cooler temperatures help slow the rising water, but National Guard troops are still working hard.
Yeah, they're keeping a close eye on the dikes holding back floodwater. Valley News Team's Kit Crush shows us who's taking care of the troops who are taking care of the valley.
They call it the Ark.
If you want a piece of heaven, all you need to do is go out in the parking lot and inhale deeply, and you'll smell the best food smells ever.
This army of volunteers is helping fight the flood by keeping our troops well fed.
Oh yeah, the folks here at Olivet Lutheran are taking very good care of us. They serve us breakfast, lunch, and dinner if we need it.
At my age, I'm not ready to throw sandbags, so I wanted to have something else, that I could feel like I was participating and contributing.
ARC volunteers say they couldn't provide this service alone.
And the businesses in our community have donated just incredible amounts of food. And so we are so grateful because that makes it possible for us to do what we're doing.
And the ARC will keep doing what they're doing until the floodwaters recede. Kit Cross, Valley News Live.
Volunteers at Olivet Lutheran are also delivering the prepared meals to volunteers who can't leave the front lines.